Hey guys, I hope you all have had a lovely Christmas. And we have the particular theme of Christmas with a full moon in Cancer, representing home and family. So this is a few hours after the full moon occurrence, but I had to take a couple of days off myself. So back to it today. And the full moon was full at 4 degrees of Cancer on the 27th, yesterday, this early hours of this morning, at 0:33 hours GMT. So what are the themes of this full moon in Cancer? Let's have a look. So Cancer, it's a cardinal sign, so it's full steam ahead and as far as energy goes, and it's a water sign, so it covers the emotional and feeling realm. And other themes to look for and for the zodiacal theme, the astrological theme of Cancer would be emotions and feelings, and in particular sensitivity to emotions. Like there's also a caring theme. It's about taking care of those who need it most, and that comes specifically towards home and family. Taking care of family. So it's cooking, it could be playing the mothering role to someone or something, really looking after things. It can, in particular, be very sensitive to emotions, like instant overwhelmment or feelings of emotions that suddenly wash over you. It can be hard to get yourself out of that emotional zone if you're suddenly overwhelmed. So it's a lot about comfort zones and what areas of life you're comfortable in and where you're not comfortable. So there's a protective side to Cancer as well. So that's where the mothering thing comes in. It can be like looking out for those who need the help or need taking care of, maybe the vulnerable or people who are maybe too shy or not confident enough to stand up for themselves. The Cancer person would step in and see themselves as like the mothering, protective kind of figure in that particular situation. So there can be a certain shyness, a reclusivity, and there can be also be a clinginess. And knowing your own comfort zones is a big, big thing for Cancer. And the image of the crab is one that holds strong with Cancer. And in particular, the crab energy highlights the shell that Cancer people protect themselves. It's how they protect themselves from the outside world, because the inside can be like soft and mushy and loving and so easily hurt on the inside because it's so soft and caring and loving. So it has a hard shell to protect itself from the elements of the outside world. So looking at that as a personality type of scenario, what are you comfortable dealing with in the outside world and what are you not comfortable dealing with? And where do you have a shell to protect yourself from these vulnerabilities? So the thing about Cancer in particular is about hardening that shell up, making yourself putting yourself out there into these situations that you're uncomfortable with, and therefore you're making your shell harder and you're increasing your capacity to deal with uncomfortable situations. So in potential, you're making uncomfortable situations more comfortable to deal with, if you can understand the paradox. So Cancer also has the pincers, so it can hold on really tightly to things and not let go. That's one of the things about Cancer as well. There can be a clingy kind of element. Whenever it attaches itself to something, the attachment can be extremely difficult to let go of. So it's about becoming aware of anything you may be deeply attached to. Sometimes you need to let things go, in order to release something from your control or release something that may be controlling you. So it's good to be aware of things like that, especially if you're a parent. Do you cling on too tightly to a child? Or maybe there's something in your past that you cling on so tightly to, you fear letting that go. But maybe you need to release the pincers a little, take some of that clinginess, away and create that whatever it is you're taking care of, let it develop its own uh, strength and need and capability for taking care of itself. And knowing your comfort zones is all part of that. You need to understand what your comfort zones are and how you can break out of those comfort zones and create a wider, a larger worldview of what you're comfortable with. So big theme with Cancer, and as human beings, we're driven by our emotions. So emotional control is a big thing, and especially during the full moon, you'll have a sense of fulfillment. It's what you have completed and where you would like to go next. So if you're not there yet in terms of viewing your own success, maybe you want to take note of where you fall short, and you can work at that up until the next Cancer new moon, or the full moon next year. Make yourself a bit of a strategy going forward. So in Northern Ireland here, the chart is set for Belfast, and we had the full moon at exact degree 458 of Cancer, right on the midheaven. And when I got up today, the place was absolutely flooded with the torrents of rain that came down overnight. So look at the energy of the moon. It's in Cancer, so it's cardinal water. So it's actually pouring down heavily and forcefully from the heavens. And that's midheaven is always what you can see, you can see visibility in society. So that's whether it's just coincidence or not, but it certainly is relevant in terms of understanding the cardinal water energy and how fast and powerfully it was coming from the heavens. So understanding your level of fulfillment in the outer world as well, in society. Are you there yet? Are you where you want to be? So going back again, plan, structure, going forward, emotional control, big thing for the Cancer energy. So the degree itself, 4 degrees, if you have any planets or angles around 4 degrees, so you could even go from 2 to 6. And if you have any significant personal placements around this degree, even look at the opposite degree as well, Capricorn, and the square degrees, which would be Aries and Libra. You're certainly going to be feeling this Cancerian kind of energy, okay? Now we have a blessing as well, because now this full moon energy is still potent, it's still in the air. And technically the full moon energy lasts right up until we have a new moon. But over the next couple of days, you'll notice it more so, especially because you'll feel it more so because the moon is still in Cancer. So we've had a blessing from Jupiter in Taurus, providing a sextile aspect to the full moon. So yeah, I'm working on another presentation about Jupiter in Taurus. It's now at the degree where it's going to turn direct on, 5 degrees of Taurus. So you'll also want to look at your chart and see if you have any significant placements around around 5 degrees of Taurus, okay? Saturn in Pisces is making a trine. Now, both of these aspects together are helpful. And the Saturn aspect, the Saturn energy, is the ruler of Capricorn, which is the ruler of the sun currently. And it's making a lovely trine aspect, a helpful aspect to the moon, along with Jupiter. So these are the social planets. So these are good for strengthening your place in society and providing some help. Saturn will be providing the strategy, the discipline, the planning going forward. Jupiter will be providing you with luck or abundance, providing you have done the work in the background. Okay. So this water, now Jupiter is in the earthy sign of Taurus, and Saturn is in the watery sign of Pisces. And being, making such lovely aspects to the moon, there's a big watery theme going on here, and it's an earthy theme as well. And these are taking the realms of emotions and feeling. So you may find, if you are impacted by these degrees of the zodiac, You may feel an influence on your moon. You may be overwhelmed, so there's could be compassion, empathy, a certain sensitivity, and you may feel overwhelmed at times by feelings and emotions. So worth considering if you feel that way at any point over the next few days, okay? Especially if your chart has been impacted. That things like this can be triggered by some kind of crisis, okay? So it's important to be aware of your feelings and your emotions if there is a crisis or something like that that comes up. So the Cancer Capricorn polarity, we touched on this earlier, but this is what the polarity suggests. It's about emotional control and not emotional oppression. So you don't want to be suppressing or oppressing your emotions, holding them down and saying, no, I don't recognize those feelings I am having. I am not going to deal with those. That is a negative way to deal with this energy. Understanding your own emotional feelings and becoming one with them, understanding it and say, okay, this is actually what I feel like. So I have to, this is me, this is part of me. So it's awareness of that. So Capricorn and the Cancer polarity as well is about balancing home with career. It's balancing your family needs along with your own personal ambitional requirements. It's about considerate structure and planning, not just for you, but for those you care about as well. And if you view success in sufficiently providing for those at home, it's a positive way moving forward, because not only are you fulfilling your own ambitional requirements, but you're also taking care of those you care about and not neglecting those at home as well. So you're still providing for that strong home family element. So other themes to consider as well: which house does the full moon fall in, and which the axis it falls across? So it could be the second, eighth house, for instance. It could be the fourth, 10th house. You also want to check for aspects to personal planets and angles. And are any major themes in your chart activated by this full moon? If so, you're going to want to action that, or really think deeply about how this is manifesting in your life, okay? And how you're going to move forward. So for any personal consultations, you can message me. You can find my StarDrifter Astrology on Facebook, and you can contact me directly. If you need to get an update on a forecast, we can look at your major transits, any progressions, solar arcs, and solar returns. We can look at that and give you an idea going forward for the next year. It's around your birthday, a few weeks before your birthday is a good time to get this done as well, or any time at all, because we can take in the current year and make plans for the next one coming as well, especially for your birthday time. Some people can benefit a lot from a big three interpretation. That's understanding your sun, your moon, and your ascendant. Very powerful elements in the horoscope. And for anyone who wants to show any appreciation at all, you can buy me a coffee if you go to the link, which I will provide in the description. So in the meantime, I hope everyone has had a lovely Christmas period with home, family, or whatever you have been doing. And I wish everyone all the best going forward for 2024. And I hope to be catching up with some of you soon. So in the meantime, thank you.